Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my weekly analysis. It's Sunday evening, 6:03 p.m. Kenyan time. And this week, as always, I'm just going to look at the charts, give you guys an idea of where I think the market will go. And I'll try and keep this short and sweet, just so to focus on the goal, which is just to ensure that at least I've looked at a couple of pairs and you all have an idea of my take. So before I go on, guys, I just want to say if this is your first time on my channel, kindly please smash that like button, subscribe, click on the notifications bell as well, so that anytime I post up any new content, you'll be notified ASAP. And once again, thank you for tuning in. So I'm looking at US 30 to begin with this evening, and we can see how US 30, the weekly played out. Last week, we were very bearish, and it's very clear why we were bearish, because we were literally, we broke structure below here, and then we were literally targeting this previous candle on the 29th of November, which is at about 33,968. So my take is that we'll actually take out this low, which is I think about maybe 300 pips away, or 270 pips away. That's my initial bias. So I just think you should look out for that, and maybe we may even, once we do that, we may then retest the 34,684 zone and drop, because there's more liquidity lying downside. So right now, things are looking a bit bearish on the short term, on the near term, and I anticipate that the week will begin very bearish for US 30. And literally, guys, you can see that, we made this all-time high and then we took it out. This was on the 8th of November, beginning of November. We took it out this year, okay? And once this high was taken out, we can see we began to descend, and then we started breaking structure to the downside. So it just looks like what we are trying to do is to clear imbalances below, okay? There are quite a number of, there's a bit of imbalance downside, and there's a lot of liquidity, sell side liquidity as well. So I'm bearish on US 30 on market open. We may, let me look at the daily. Yeah, still looking quite bearish. And you can see we took out this previous swing low. And this here was a very, very strong swing high. And it's very strong because it's literally taken out this swing low. So I'm still thinking we are definitely still headed to the downside. So yeah, that's US 30. Let me look at my favorite pair, which is gold. Actually, let me look at NAS. I actually like NAS. NAS, I've been looking at it. I've been trading it at least the last 2 weeks, and been quite happy with how it's been playing out. And NAS, just like US 30, what happened is, you can see here, there was a lot of liquidity lying below here, and we finally grabbed that liquidity. We then closed bearish the previous week as well, but just at the same level as the previous weeks, the first week's it's called what? Close, and then now we then completely broke down, and literally we are looking like we still want to take out these lows, and we may even target liquidity down below here, okay, at the level of 129.07. Let's say 129.07. Okay, so we're still looking bearish. We've left a bit of imbalance upside, so there's a potential that we may push up a bit before we continue down. But right now, again, if I look at the way structure wise we are looking, we broke structure here, okay, and I keep saying like this is like secondary structure, internal structure, and then we pushed back, mitigated it, and then we finally broke down. So I feel like once we take out this low, we probably will try to go all the way to 137 for 6.8. We may even go lower, but I feel like there's also potential to just get to the 129. So I'm looking at it in this way. Let me just draw my path, thinking we probably drop down and then, again push up and then finally target this low. So that's just how it's looking. That's just how it's looking right now. But that's only if we take out this previous low. If the next today's candle, midnight candle, takes out this previous low, then that would be my bias. But if not, we may see a rejection first to the upside before we continue to the downside. Yeah, but definitely we're still looking. We're looking as bearish as US 30, right? So let me go to gold, which has been confusing people. Gold at some point just rallied last week. Sorry guys, and you can see, I don't know why I drew this line. I think this is a previous analysis. And also this played out, so that's not relevant. So I'll just clear this as well. So what we are seeing with gold, I mean, we still have these levels down here that are, there's just a lot of sell side liquidity downside here. What we are doing, as you can see, as we are going down, as we are breaking down in price, we have just been mitigating previous levels of supply. So last week, gold just pushed up completely, and I remember people asking like, why is that happening? And I'm just like, there's this level up here that needed to be mitigated, which has happened. Okay, so I'm beginning to anticipate that we may see a drop. Okay, we may just see a drop, or alternatively, we might try to take out this high, okay, before we continue downside. But right now, as we're speaking, I'm feeling like even if we do, let me just go to the daily. Let's see how the daily is looking. So okay, let's clear this as well. So technically, also the reason why we're seeing there's been a lot of imbalance to the upside. So that's also another reason why gold just shot up last week. Okay, because there was no way. Yes, we are bearish. Okay, and we've been bearish, taking out previous levels of liquidity or previous highs, and then continuing downside. But as we did that, because if you look at this very aggressive move to the downside, we can see that we left some kind of imbalance here. Okay, so this has just been filled, and I think there's potential to just push a bit higher, take that out completely before we push lower. So this could be what, another 250 pips to the upside. I guess if you even look at a lower time frame, we could see this a bit better. So like there's potential, like yes, we kind of look like we're breaking down, but there's potential for price to revisit about 100 and let's say 180 pips, 200 pips. There's an imbalance up there that may need to be filled, right? May need to be filled up there. Let me see. So that's about 187 pips. I'm anticipating that is a target that we'll see gold revisit at some point. This will be the 1851, and I've been saying that gold I think I've mentioned that in previous, I think even I previous maybe analysis or charts that I've dropped in on my YouTube community group. I've, like 1852 is a zone that I would like to see gold get up to. What we are seeing here is, yes, we've definitely pushed up and we have retraced. Now, we may push down a bit lower, take out some more liquidity as the weekly opens, and then, but I still feel like 1852 is still a very, very key zone. I don't think once we get there, I don't think we'll take out maybe maximum. I mean, obviously, if you drill down to lower time frames, we may get to, let's say, 1860, 1860, 1865 level. I don't think we'll go beyond 1865. I'm not seeing that happening because I feel like this is a very, very strong supply zone. We may look like we may try to do that, but I think it would only be to try and clear out imbalances above. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at on gold. Yeah, although this retracement, there's a bit of retracement, but just because of this very aggressive push to the upside is what is making me think that we are still bullish on gold. Yeah. So that's gold. And then we have, but obviously we look at this when the market opens, things may change, right? And then what else? So I'm looking at, and then something else fundamentally we know about gold is that, when the stocks are not performing so well, gold tends to take front and center attention. People tend to put their money into the commodities market. So, there's been an increase in interest rates, which works very negatively against the stocks and market, and or rather the equities. So yeah, so fundamentally we are looking bullish. Obviously, it would be good to check what how the commercials are positioned in the market, which is just deeper fundamental outlooks. So anyway, that being said, let me look at a currency pair now. So I'm going to take, let me look at Euro USD, which is one of the most heavily traded currencies on the foreign exchange market, or most popularly traded, I guess. Now, as we can see, I think this is my marking from last week. Yeah, so we got to my target and then we retraced. We didn't quite come as much higher up, and I guess it's because we needed to kind of take out liquidity, because we left. Okay, this is on the 4 hour, but I'm just seeing there's liquidity downside here. But let me go on the weekly. On the weekly, so on the weekly time frame, gold finally pushed up. Okay, and if you look carefully, we kind of took out this previous swing high. So we formed the swing low here, and then we formed this swing high here, and then we rallied down, or we pushed down. I mean, this is a weekly, so I can say we rallied down, but then we closed on this weekly a bit higher. But then finally, the next week of the 27th December, we actually broke above this previous swing high. Okay, now this was clear because this would happen because if you think about it, this was actually a very weak swing high, and that's why it was taken out. When I say weak swing high, and this is what I teach in my classes, in my mentorship, or whatever you want to call it, coaching classes, this is a weak swing high, so price pushed up, and then it retested this zone, and then it pushed up again. And what we see is we took out yet another swing high. Okay, we took out this swing high here. So I feel like just generally we've been very bearish. Okay, we've been very bearish on Euro USD. It's been very bearish. And so this may look like the first attempt to kind of, begin the upswing. But I suspect that, we have a lot of liquidity resting down here. Okay, we have a lot of sell side liquidity. So, and there's a bit of like imbalances again lying, so I feel like we may see an attempt to actually come and take out these levels before we see a really nice push to the upside. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens this week. I'll want to see, because we closed bearish, okay? We closed bearish on Euro USD. I would want to see how the next candle closes. And I think I would be targeting these lows. So if I just measure, that's 42 pips, that's 70, that's about 100 pips. So honestly, anywhere from 70 to 150 pips is a target for us to know, because I feel like this push up was one to liquidate buyers, okay? It was a false move. We are not yet ready to start buying. So I feel like, yeah, we will first go down and then push up. Okay, so that's really my bias. Anything though can happen, but that's what I'm really looking at. Even if we take this out, then retest again and then continue to the upside, this would be my initial bias. So I'm kind of bearish on market open, but as always, let's see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. I don't know if we'll make it all the way down here, but there's a lot of liquidity resting below. So that's Euro USD. Let's look at USD Jpy. Let me look at another popular pair. Now, Euro USD Jpy is looking pretty interesting. So what we see is we've been bullish on USD Jpy, which explains why EU has been dropping, really, if you think about it. And we have this high here, which I think will be taken out at some point. I mean, when we dropped, we left liquidity lying here. And I think this is where UJ has been traveling to. Like, this is where UJ has been traveling to. This is the 118.712. This is about what, 481 pips away. I feel like if I look on the daily, so hold on first before I even go on the daily. Let me just mark this out so that I can see it proper. Now let me look at this again more closely. Yeah, I feel like this is okay. So we left this swing low here, was very strong, and it pushed up and caused like a shift in a change in character in the internal structure of this larger frame, larger structure. And then we see that we kind of, there was a bit of supply, there was a supply zone here, and that's why we then technically rejected off of that supply zone, right? Now, what I see is this rejection though was not very strong, okay? Not really, not that strong. So that's why I feel like, we left pending liquidity up there. And I feel like we are going to revisit. So my take is we are possibly, like, this is just a retracement, possibly a fake out, maybe we'll push lower to the maybe 111,575 zone, which is about 30 pips away, and then push up. Okay, so I'm like, if we push down, and then we push up. I feel like this needs to be taken out, and then we can discuss. I mean, not that, is it really 30 pips away or 300 pips away? It's like 200 pips away. Okay, so there is potential for that. We've left some liquidity downside. So let me say about, let me even look at it from, yeah. So that's the 113, sorry, the 112,224, which is about 40, is it about 40 pips? No, 400 pips. Sorry guys, I think my math is just like so wrong. That's like 400 pips. That's far. So yeah, we actually have some room to play to push lower with UJ. There's room to push lower, and we can see levels of liquidity below here. This is what, like about 16 32 100 pips. Yeah, so this is a target that I definitely want to see UJ maybe come to. Let me see the daily, and we can see on the daily it's even a bit more clearer. There's a bit of a change in character, change in direction, break of structure. So yeah, we're just looking bearish, guys. We're looking bearish. Liquidity line below here, so that would be my take. That would be my take. Make it down here and then push up to wherever, like to at least this 118 zone. Like that's what I'm looking at, because I feel like we're very bullish. I almost said bullish. Bullish. Okay, so let me look at Usdjpy. Maybe it's giving me a different vibes. Okay, this is probably, I was discussing a class here. We have retested as demand zone on the daily on Usdjpy here. So would really like to see what happens. I mean, this is a whole range of like 140 pips, so there's a lot that can happen here. We haven't yet retested this supply zone up here that I had marked out last year, and I still feel like this is an area that we could actually go back to. So that's my take. Like whatever happens here, we might see some consolidation of some sort, and then continuation to the upside. I really think that, I don't know if we are ready to drop on Usdjpy. I don't know. I think we are looking bullish on this euro pair. Let me look at, someone asked me to look at Usdjpy. So I don't trade Usdjpy at all. Every time I've traded it in the past, which is a long time ago, it keeps smacking me because this pair really, really consolidates. It really consolidates, like, yeah. So I don't trade it much, but because somebody asked me to, I mean, look at this whole nonsense here. Like, what is this? Is this consolidating? And this is since August 2016. That's why I don't like this pair much. I'm not very good at trading ranging markets or sideways trending markets. But let's look at Usdjpy, and then you'll find that it has huge spikes like this one. All of a sudden, the orders in the market, the institutional players just come and decide, okay, now we are ready to take out all the liquidity in the market. And they do that, and then bang. So this was actually a very good trade if you anticipated what was happening, because there was a liquidity grab here, and then really nice. It's just that this move was so aggressive. But you can see some really nice, this was a really nice area to enter, especially after this move up here. So anyway, we are now looking at it from now. So there's still, I mean, if I look at it critically, there's still liquidity down here, so some sell-side liquidity lying below here for sure. So, and I think that's where we are headed. That's where Usdjpy is looking like it's been trying to get down here to take people out. But I also think like this here is just a false move, just make you think that, I still think that we are definitely headed down. I just think we are bearish on Usdjpy. I mean, I don't know anything else right now. It's 100 pips away from that liquidity zone, sell side liquidity zone, maybe even 200 pips, because we have an imbalance downside, quite a bit of imbalance. I mean, quite a bit, guys, quite a bit. We have an imbalance here. So, by at least 100 pips to the downside. Like, I feel like this is just a mini retracement. We are going to, reject off of this 0.83819 area around there, and then come down and then continue downside. Because really what's been happening, if I look at it from order flow perspective, we've just been taking out liquidity, mitigating zones, supply zones, mitigation, taking out the liquidity, possibly attempting another mitigation, and then we continue downside. But this really bearish structure here that literally, totally just took out liquidity. Yeah, I'm bearish on GBP. Now let's go to GBP pairs, guys. So GBP USD is also one of my very favorite pairs that I like to trade. And GU is kind of looking like EU bullish. Was EU bullish? Let's say that. No, actually I said EU is bullish long term, but it needs to come down before it starts climbing. So GBP USD is looking the same. Like we need to retest some levels of demand below here. That's what I think. Like we have a nice, pretty demand zone here, right? And so I'm thinking we'll come retest that zone and then continue to the upside. Why do I think that? Because we've left liquidity lying above this area, and we cleared the liquidity downside here, and then we began to push up. Okay, so we are in a bullish kind of, we're trying to literally go bullish, but in the process, what we've been doing is just mitigating levels, retracing, mitigating levels, and so on, just clearing out zones. And now, after we took this one out, we left liquidity below, and I feel like we're going to retest and then continue to the upside. So, yeah, so that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So we retest this zone and then we push up. So that's GU retest. So let me just draw my area of path, my path. Come there, boom. Take out this nonsense here. Okay, it's not nonsense, nonsense. Guys, you know what I mean, right? You understand what I mean. Okay, so that's what I would be looking at for GU. Let's look at GBP JPY. And then maybe look at EuroCAD and then we'll be done. So GBP JPY is also bullish, but we do have levels of demand below, okay? Unless we totally take out this zone. I mean, there's liquidity downside here. There's a lot of liquidity downside here. So we may see a path like this, something like that, or, we may just see it drop. I mean, I'm not seeing that happening really. I'm more biased that we just continue to the upside, but there's also potential to try and take out the sell side liquidity below here. And that would mean that, maybe we'll just open very bearish and just boom, drop. But this zone here at 151,789, that's about like what? Okay, can you stop? Quit playing games. So this is like about 200. That's a lot, yeah. So we are looking bearish. Long term, we are still bullish. We have some highs here that we need to take. We already started our bullish kind of wave up, and yeah, I mean, we took out liquidity here with this down move, and then we pushed up. So this is just a correction for us to continue. So yeah, so I'm bearish on GJ as well. Let me look at, I said Let me look at EuroCAD first, whichever way you want to describe it or pronounce it. And then I'll look at AU and then we'll be done. For real, for real. So let me just clear this so that I see what's happening. So EuroCAD took out liquidity, and I think now we may find ourselves pushing up. I think, yeah, I mean, this has been, I mean, I've been waiting for this to happen for a while, and it's finally happened. And I think that we are ready to begin to move to the upside. Okay, so that's that. AUD USD. AUD USD is in. AUD USD is looking interesting. AUD USD is looking interesting. I would want to see if we break this, if we take out this low here, this swing low here, we have a swing low here that was formed on the 3rd of January. Okay, that's a potential target near term. I don't know how many pips it is from where we are at. We may just see it wick that and then continue to the upside. Yeah, I think we're still bullish on AU. I mean, how many pips is this? This is about, not far, it's about 43 pips. We may push all the way, maybe even further, maybe another 40 pips. So that would be around 80 pips, 90 pips. But we're in a demand zone, technically. So I think we may push up below and then push up. But I think we are moving into buy zone territory. We really rallied up. We have retraced nicely, taken out liquidity. And I think now we are preparing to start seeing a shift upside. So I'm bullish on AU as well. There's these levels here. Yeah, I'm bullish on AU as well. So guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope this has been of value. If it makes some sense and if it adds some oomph to your own analysis, please by all means share it with a friend, and then just don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and keep subscribing. Thank you guys, and have a lovely trading week ahead. I do promise this week I will share my trade setups in the YouTube community tab. So I'll be able to just share my charts, and you guys can just keep tabs. I know I didn't do that last week. I did that the previous week, but I'll do that this week, and then we'll see how that goes. So thanks guys, and see you soon. Bye.